industry media personality. This female wears a lot of hats, and she's staying with the best of them. And I've actually had the honor to learn a lot of branding and different things like that when it comes to blogging and media from her. So with me today, I have the honor of interviewing my sis and talking to her, Miss LaLaa Shepard. What's happening, girl?
Yes, I'm doing pretty good. How you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. I can't even complain at all. I'm ready to get this going.
Absolutely. I'm excited. Let's do it.
So I want to first start off by like asking, where are you originally from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where was you originally from? And if it was the A, what part? And if it wasn't, when did you come to the A and everything like that?
Definitely. So I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I came down to Atlanta in 2013, so it'll be 10 years coming up in August.
Oh wow.
That's crazy. 10 years. I'm like, dang, it don't feel like it, but it does.
So what made you come to Atlanta?
I mean, God told me to do it. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, I graduated college and I just always wanted to do something involving music, PR, and God led me to Atlanta. It was literally just the spirit. Like, you got to be there. That's the only place for you to be. It was a simple calling that just made sense. And, you know, I did everything that I needed to do in terms of making my family and people's proud. So I just packed it on up, relocated to Atlanta. Of course, it wasn't that simple, but that's what I did.
Dope. So, please tell me, was LaLaa in a rap group or a singing group back in the day, or a dancing group or something? You know, you love music, so I'm trying to see, was you engaging in anything like that, any extracurricular music back in the day?
That's a great question. No, I never wanted to be an artist. I never wanted to do anything like, you know, besides the business. I always thought the business was intriguing. I thought I would have a magazine. That's what I wanted. You know, back then, magazines was a thing. I still personally love magazines. Like, I got plenty of magazines. Like, I subscribe to magazines. So I'm a magazine girl. But in terms of me releasing them, that's just not a fast enough paced thing to do. So moving forward is all digital. So I never wanted to be an artist. I'm not a dancer. Now, in the Snap era, you couldn't tell me I couldn't dance because I could do that. But I was never a singer. I was never a singer, dancer. None of that. Nah, I just always worked with artists, even when I was back in Cincinnati, you know, people in the neighborhood and stuff like that, but never was an artist.
So, what about working with an artist like drove you? Like, what was the passion of when you watched the artist, or what did you look and see in an artist in them early years that made you want to just really get involved and start getting behind them?
I mean, I thought music was just always dope. And, you know, just again, the journalism aspect of it was always intriguing to me. Like, you know, the Rap City, the Basements, the 106 and Parks, just having a platform for unique artists just to talk about their stories, you know, and that was always fascinating to me. Like, artists that I love listening to, I always enjoyed their interviews. I just like seeing a different side of them outside of the songs that I enjoyed. So just helping, you know, share their stories and helping them get other situations and connecting those dots always was a thrill to me. Like, I can't really put my finger on it, but it was just always fun to do so.
Well, and I must commend your wall, you know what I'm saying, your wall gallery back there, because you have some very interesting, like, driven artists. Like you got Young Dolph up there. He wasn't just an artist, he was actually a therapist of his community. And you also got the iconic, the legendary Missy Elliott up there.
Absolutely.
She changed the game for the women. Like, she elevated it up even more. Then you have Nipsey, you know what I'm saying, long live Nip. He did something that I feel that Master P had his own unique way of doing something that every indie label should follow. I see that Nip has done something that every indie artist should follow and should see themselves when they stepping in. And then you have Wiz Khalifa up there, which he actually came in and changed the game and brought, like,
for sure.
He started filming himself. He was following the Soulja Boys and the Bow Wows by filming himself as he went to create his own media and his brand, and it launched him. So you have 4 dope pictures behind you. So, you know, that comes to the next question right here. As you always wanted to be behind an artist and just really push artists, like, can you name me 3 people, 3 executive people that you look up to, that you actually have just really molded how you approach everything behind? You know?
It's a good question. I want to make sure I think about it before I speak. I mean, the first one would for sure be DJ Scream. I came up listening to just his mixtapes and seeing his work, and didn't know him personally, but just knew the brand and gotta respect that. Later thought he was a Capricorn like myself, and I said, "Oh, it makes sense." You know,
out to the Capricorn. That's what I'm talking about.
He's disciplined, he focused, and passionate, and he ended up, later on being a very influential person in my real life. Like, just very approachable. Gave him his flowers every time I would run into him, and we just really built a strong relationship, did some business and stuff. So, for sure, DJ Scream. The next person, I don't know her. I would love to meet her, but like Queen Latifah, because I respect her. I would love to pick her brain and go to lunch one day, but just everything that she's done for the culture. Oh yeah, for sure, it's gonna happen. We gotta meet.
Speak it out. That's what I'm talking about.
Queen Latifah, just legendary in the music, the entertainment, and just being able to just always be herself and just and do so many great things, and then start her Flavor Unit entertainment company, and I just love it. I always respected her ever since a little girl. I just always thought she was just beautiful, just intelligent. Just what she had rapped about when she was doing, music actively, and I just respected that. A female just being a independent, a boss, and just standing on it, and just seeing the respect amongst the peers. I just always thought that was cool. It's something to really aspire to do, because I knew it wasn't going to be easy building up my name and brand, but I knew once I did, I wanted to do it with integrity, and I wanted my peers to respect me. Third, it's so many people. That I look up to. So I'm gonna have to really think about that. Let me say that one for last, because I gotta give you a good one. So give me a minute on that.
Okay. Well, you have this like you have this cool, laid back, classy, tomboyish persona. So I can actually imagine that you dealt with a lot of male artists. So comes to this question. Okay. What was it like, or how was the experience of dealing with male artists and avoiding getting hit on, and them being like, hey, I like you, this is going somewhere, hey, you got somebody. How was that? How did you maneuver through that and still, get your point across as your approach to them,
Another great question. It's something that, people gonna have to deal with. I think, it's just a part of the game. You can be an unattractive person and you still get hit on just because you got something that somebody might want. It don't matter what it is. But the thing is, just going back to the Queen Latifah, just even a Screamer, just anybody that I look up to, it's always been a respect. Like, I've always appreciated being respected. Like, and I always tell people this, especially young people, when you first get into this entertainment business, it's unorthodox. We might be at a meeting and it's drinks, it's weed, it's drugs. You gotta be self-aware, know your limit, know when to say no, know it's a time and a place for turn up, and and also too, just have a long-term goal. I always was thinking long-term. It was never about me getting on right away. I wanted to build up that story. I wanted people to see that journey, because I just, like I said, God told me to move down. I ain't never questioned that. I, put in the work. I knew it was going to be a lot of work, doing a lot before I was getting a lot. I was cool with that. I was just enjoying the process. I was enjoying being of service. And by doing that, I knew I was adding value. Just when you become an asset to people, it's so, like, me being an entrepreneur and a boss now, I don't take that for granted. Anybody that adds value to me, I want to make you so comfortable that you don't ever feel uncomfortable. Like, I want you to know, like, I appreciate you. I want to continue to work with you. So I would never do nothing to cross those lines. So for me, I think it was just as simple as that. People might have wanted one thing, but once we started to work together and do certain things, it was just like, man, I need her on my team. So it wasn't even no question no more. And I think, honestly, I'm knock on wood, I never had to deal with no crazy stuff, like no issues, because I always just carried myself with respect. I made it clear it's what I'm trying to do. And again, everybody that I work with, I gave them their flowers in such a way where it's like you don't even want to do that no more. You just really want to just see what we can put together. So I think, again, just carrying myself with respect was very important to me, because I'm gonna give respect and I just want to receive it back.
Nice. So, what's the inside gems of being comfortable with talking to people and pulling stuff from them? Because it took me a minute to get there. So,
absolutely.
And it's like, some people I watch and it just comes normal and they know what to pull, when to pull, and it's like, so, what is your, what is your strategy to strengthen you into being able to talk and bring a conversation out that is really, that is tasteful for the ears of just any audience that listen to you have a conversation with somebody?
Absolutely. Research is important. You can always tell when a person did their research or if they didn't do their research, really. And I know I'm just big on that because, again, being a journalist is, we got to really dig deep into what that definition is. Now with the digital era, a lot of people just are lazy and don't take that time. And with me, when I'm getting ready for an interview, it's like I can't really put a time limit on it. The more time I have for it, the better. But I'm spending days listening to their other interviews, reading on them, just learning their habits, looking at their social media, just learning them. Because when you learn them, you can anticipate things that they're not comfortable with, and avoid certain stuff that they might have already answered in the interview, where they say like, "Man, I hate that question," or "I hate this and that." So that's really the biggest thing. Just making sure that I'm studying the guests. And, of course, everything don't always go smooth or as planned, or they might not, they might answer something out of order, whereas like I might have questions like this lined up in my mind, but they might make me pull out the questions towards the end or the middle. So just really paying attention. And also, too, that just came from like criticism from people that I trust, just like, focus more on having a conversation as opposed to interviewing. I had to work on that. And if you're having a conversation, a lot of times the questions will kind of lead to the next one, and just really taking your time with it and just, enjoying the moment too. Cause, and I still struggle with that too. Cause I be thinking like, man, I can't wait to get to this question, but it's like, enjoy that moment, take your time. It's going to always make sense, the way it need to make sense. So yeah. Dope. Because, and I can actually say that you give me that Sanaya Lathan brown sugar vibe right now. So with me saying that, have you ever thought about being an editor? Because you're great with speaking to people. So I could only imagine how you would be cramming everything and strategically writing it down to just elaborate on and highlight on certain people and just put it in a magazine. Have you ever thought about being an editor? Or I write all the time. We got a blog. I write for other blogs. When I get my writing bag, I get in there. Even in college, like one of my professors tried to accuse me of plagiarism. She said it was so good. And she still gave me an A-. And I'm like, girl, But hater. But I actually really enjoy writing. But it's like, you know, people say you make time for what you want to make time for. I overthink when I write because I'm such a perfectionist about when I write it that it takes me so long. So by the time I write one piece, that's going to take me a minute. Then by the time I get to another piece, it's just so time consuming. So honestly, in a perfect world, I want to get to a point where I can have more time to write, because I love my writing abilities. When I write write-ups for artists all the time, and they love them. And, you know, that makes me happy when they can be like, dang, like you really, you know, put it into words and this and that. Like, I really enjoy doing that. And I wish I could have more time to do that. There's so many things I want to write about where I feel like it'd be dope. And like you said, it'd be broken down so precisely. But just being honest, I just don't have the time to do it, just because I'm such a perfectionist where I'm not the type to just write it and just go. Like, I got to reread it. I don't like how that's positioned. Let me, you know, so then I'm making myself frustrated because it's taking forever. So I just got to make more time to do it. But I have done that before. A couple of my articles have gotten picked up in the past, so I know it's possible. So I got to just make time. Mm-hmm.
That is, hey. And I can sense it. I can actually sense by just watching you and just seeing how you carry yourself in certain situations and scenarios, and just how you elaborate on certain things, even when you talk to people, which comes to this question. How did the progress report come about? And I heard that it wasn't called that at first. So was it when you first started it wasn't called a progress report, right? It was called something else?
Well, it's always been a progress report technically, but it was under my name. I was going like all my interviews was under my name. So like I was doing interviews under my name, and I just didn't, like, again, I'm always thinking long term. So if I'm like, man, this can't be LaLaa Shepard, just because I'm like, you know, at some point I ain't gonna want to move around like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I was always thinking strategic. I knew I wanted to just create opportunities that I wish was created for myself and bring people on and things of that nature. So how it came about was, again, the purpose was already there when I moved down here. It was already written. But like, I was working for a lot of people doing, you know, PR stuff behind the scenes, building up relationships. And like, it was just a real dark time, you know, in my life at that particular time, just going through some stuff that I got to take responsibility for, you know. And I just didn't want to, like, my position in this business was very jeopardized, and I just couldn't let these relationships go to waste. I done made too many plays with too many big names. I done made too many relationships just to do nothing with it. So I'm like, man, I got to do something. Like, but you know, when you're back against the wall, that's when, you know, a lot of great things happen too. And I learned that. So I was just, you know, just writing down some names. Like, I just want to have an interview platform. Let me start doing some interviews. Let me do something. And like I said, I was doing it before that time, doing interviews and stuff. It was just by my name, but I wanted it to be bigger. So I wrote that down, and I really wish I had that notebook. I might somewhere. I don't know if I do. I don't even know which notebook it was in. I was writing down names. None of them made, like, I ain't like none of them. I wanted it to be unisex. I wanted it to be long term, something dope. And I wrote that down. I remember calling my mom, like, you like this name? She was like, it's cool. I'm like, nah, that's it. So that's really how it came about.
And I want to commend you on that too, because
thank you, man.
Watched and I watched the tail end growth, so I could just only imagine the beginning growth, you know. But I actually want to give you your flowers, and I want to commend you on that, because you have, in an environment where everybody's creating something and everybody's doing something, you strategically created something different in a similar environment at the same. And I appreciate that. And it really, really fits. And it fits. It's just like, Like everybody's doing this, but nobody's giving reports. Nobody's giving A's. Nobody's giving B's. Nobody have lockers in the background. Everybody doing media, but you pick something that fits you. And I want to give you your flowers because I
appreciate that.
And it's hard. It's hard to be creative.
Man, it is, yeah.
Where everything is going on. Because even when you're not looking, you're not trying to look at somebody, you just mess around and turn to the side. Like,
easy.
Oh, you know, it's easy.
Right.
And then it's easy to get, you know, it's easy to look and be like, oh, that's nice. That's dope. And try not to take from anything that you see. Like, that's very, very hard. But that's the most unique blessing about a creator. Being creative. When you're creative, you can see everything around you, but you know in your mind what you finna create, and you know the purpose of it. So that is definitely dope. And I've also saw a couple of your interviews, and I've seen a couple of your interviews, but I know you have a lot of relationships. And I know a lot of mess floats in the A. A lot.
Yeah, right.
A lot. Yeah. So, have you ever interviewed somebody that somebody you was tight with, and you probably ain't know it at the time because everybody's so scared? Have you ever interviewed somebody that somebody came to you and said, "Hey, man, why you?" Or you found yourself in a situation where you was like, "I didn't know, my bad. I'm just doing what I do." You know, have you ever, you know, and how did you respond to that? And how did you, mellow that thing out, you know?
Absolutely, man. You asking some great questions too, by the way. I mean, yeah, definitely. It's definitely been situations where people have approached me for interviews, but if I know that a certain client or a friend don't rock with them, I hit my people up first. I let them know, like, hey, this opportunity presented itself. They want to do an interview. How do you feel? Now, 9 times out of 10, I deal with a lot of silent people. They're going to be like, my situation with them ain't got nothing to do with you. Do the interview. I've had one situation where they said, nah, we ain't rocking with them. And I respect that too, because I feel like if you my peoples and we ain't rocking with them, it just is what it is. That's just how I am. So I respect both perspectives. However, it's like when certain opportunities make sense, it got to make sense. But if you my peoples and I already know you got a situation, I'm absolutely going to reach out first. I don't want you to look at it like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you know if something's serious. So I always ask my peoples. I've been there a few times. Second part of that is I've definitely interviewed people that had beef with people that I've had on the platform. And I made that clear in the interview though, you know, like, well, once we get to that topic, I don't just bring it up just because I don't want to set the tone like that. But I do let it be known once we get to, because I'm always address it. Like, you know, I want to ask questions that the fans and the people want to know. But I'm always just bring it up like, you know, we had so-and-so on the platform. This is my relationship with this person. Just so we being clear. Because I want the other person to see it. Like, nah, like I'm being transparent. You know what I mean? But I'm getting your perspective on it. What happened or what's what. So I've definitely been there before. But again, it's, you know, like my intent, I think, I'm hoping by now people know we not a messy show. We don't strive off negativity. So we don't talk about it, but it's like, that ain't the forefront of what I'm trying to do neither. So it's just like, I do hope people do understand that, like, and I think they do. I think the people that know me know, like, we got to ask certain things, but we not focusing on that. And it's a platform essentially, so everybody deserves to say their piece. And we'll let the comments, let the comment section take it up. Who right, who wrong? It ain't on me. I'm just doing my part. So that's how I handle it.
That's true. Cause like when I look at Big Factor, when I look at Drink Champs, and I see how these artists or these influencers or, philanthropists, or they'll come on these platforms and they'll become comfortable and they'll talk about everything. Sometimes they hit certain things where whoever's interviewing them is like, I know another person gonna call me and want to get on and speak their piece. You know what I'm saying? Because I know. So it's like with your platform growing so significantly. Like, how can you leave Untapped Tap Territory? Like, you know what I'm saying? How can you untap Tap Territory with you being media, and you know your audience is like, ooh, I hope she asks. I know she gotta ask. And then you kind of don't, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how as being a blogger and media, you untap Tap Territory? Like, how do you do that?
I think, you know, and sometimes too with certain people, they have managers and publicists that ask us not to ask and approach certain things. I have several interviews where I got asked to edit out things, and I got that footage. I'll never release it. But I think it's just an integrity thing. Like, you know, when you got to read the room. Some situations it's just like, let's not bring that up. Other situations, I gotta bring it up, because it's like, again, if you agree to come on the platform, you got to agree to just go with the flow. You can respectfully decline to answer. You can, you know, it's up to you. I'm asking the questions, but I'm gonna also make you feel comfortable where you know it ain't just about the BS neither. Like, I want you to know and feel comfortable. We gonna get to that, but I'm gonna ask you just because it's like elephant in the room. I gotta ask you. If I don't ask you, then the next person gonna ask you. Somebody gonna get it. I might as well ask.
True. I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Closed mouth don't get fed.
That's facts.
So now I have to play devil's advocate real quick. We've experienced a lot of deaths in hip hop, and we've experienced all different types of tragic happenings. As us being like the platforms, the button pushers, the people who help shift and move artists along the way, like, does it bother you sometimes that some of the stuff that you promote, like not intentionally, but because of your platform, that you promote unintentionally, it creates certain outcomes that you sit back and you hurt after when you see? Like, do that bother you a little? Like, when you bring certain artists on, you already know it gang related, drug related, and you already know what's coming out of their mouth. And then you interview them, and then that gets ratings. But then you see something happen, and you're like, am I feeding? Am I part of what's feeding this or not? Like, have you ever asked that? Have you ever had that question? Have you ever asked yourself that? And how did you respond to yourself pertaining to how you move now?
No, absolutely. That's a valid question for sure. And to be honest, realistically, as of late, now I say the past 2 years, a lot of my guests I've grown with. Like, if we look at a Young Mal, a Lil Quill, certain artists, they would. No, I'm just using them as an example. Even like Black LaLaa, certain people used to rap about certain things where they're growing too. I'm growing as well. So honestly, before all this craziness started being as crazy as it is, we was having fun. And I love that gangster music. Like, that's my favorite genre. I love gangster rap. Like, but all the people that I've been growing with, we ain't even on that type of time. Like, I don't promote that. I don't, like, with the Progress Report, we don't post like just anything. It gotta be progressive, positive. We gonna talk about the BS, but it's still gonna be in a tasteful way. So I don't even play like that. Like, we haven't had a guest on our show that's been on that bullshit in a long time. Just because the older I get, more wiser I become. I hate losing people. You see, we got too many people on the wall to dumb stuff. You know, I've lost personal people in my lives. You know, even with the Bankroll Fresh situation, that was weird. Just trouble. I mean, it just be too much. So personally,
it's crazy.
It ain't even been that in a while, and I'm very happy to say that. Now I might at some point get like a new younger dude. Like, we had Anti the Menace on the show recently, And I asked him questions. I'm gonna ask him and talk to him, but he mentioned it before I even had to. He like, like, what's the misconceptions about you? And he just like, people think that I'm this and that, but I'm rapping about stuff I seen and this and that, or I'm, old stuff. And I'm like, I respect that, it's entertainment. But when we have these conversations, I'm sure and intentional about focusing on the positive things. I'm trying to show you in a different light. I'm trying to humanize you as much as possible. We're talking about you being a father, you, learning to be a businessman. How are you doing as far as, becoming a full-time rapper? So even with an artist like that, I'm focusing on other stuff. So I don't even like focus on the stuff, that type of stuff. I really don't. And I'm very mindful of that, just because it's like, we just seen too much. We experienced too much. This music stuff has just completely took a turn. Entertainment for the worst. Atlanta's hurting real bad right now. It's just different. So in my heart, I don't even feel right talking about that type of stuff. So personally, I don't even have to worry about it. Like I said, the past couple of years, I ain't even been that. I don't be on that. I don't promote that. If a person was to do that in the interview, I don't know what I would say, but I would spin it to the point where I'm like, we ain't doing that. So I just don't do it personally.
This may shock you when I tell you this, but one of my best interviews that you've actually had was when you sat down and you talked to Wild Lucci brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
I actually watched that whole interview and I was like, I wouldn't even knew who this guy was. If I like I'm saying, I probably seen, but I wouldn't have knew and I wasn't speaking from like a term of just me. It's just like people who are not from Atlanta, who are outside, like watching that, they're like, oh wow, he's what? You hear him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just y'all pulling his personality out. You know what I'm saying? And just like that was a good one, of course, of mine. And recently I've been liking a lot of Young Dro interviews because he's in a different place in his life and he speaks it, and it's just where he's heading. And I just like to hear him talk and like to hear him, speak about a lot of things. And one of my classic interviews that you had was recently. I actually sat down and I watched DC Young DC.
Oh, Fly Guy DC.
Yeah. Thank you. I actually watched that.
Was a good one.
And I was like, this would be one of my classic ones.
That was a good one.
Just because of the discussion and just the questions y'all asked and just the conversation he had with y'all. You know what I'm saying? That was very dope. So and it brings me to this next question. How did I'm gonna ask this before I ask that. I'll say that last. That's that last question. But I want to ask this first. How did you link up with Coalition DJs? And how did that come about?
Man, again, I'm telling you, man, that God told me to be in Atlanta. Like, it's crazy when I think back. Like, dang, like everything was just written in stone. It was already destined. Like, I remember, it had to be that first week of me moving to Atlanta. I was so hungry and driven. Like, I'm outside. Like, I'm just outside. I ain't know where to go. I didn't know nobody. Like, I stayed with my aunt. She lived in Douglasville. I didn't know nobody in this music and entertainment business. I had networked with some producers via Twitter. That's how me and Done Deal started working. I'm hitting him, Metro, Zay, Sonny. Like, y'all need an assistant. Y'all need a publicist. Like, I'm just reaching out to folks. And that didn't work right away. So I'm at Strokers, random as hell, super random, daytime. And because me and my best friend, like, we had made a trip to Atlanta like maybe 2 weeks before I moved just to fuck around, just see what was going on. And I remember going to Strokers then and just catching the vibe. So I'm like, shit, let me just go to Strokers. Like, So then I'm talking to somebody at the bar, like a dude, like just kicking it. He was an artist at the time. I'm telling him what I'm trying to do. Then he pretty much was like, man, you got to talk to DJ Funky. So I'm like, all right. So Funky was just so happy to be setting up and telling him what I'm trying to do. We all know Funky, man. Salute to Funky OG, you know what I'm saying? And he was just like, shit, pull up tonight. And that turned into every night. And I'm pretty much helping him get organized. Treating it like a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm on time. I'm there from the time I had to get there, like 9 to like 3 in the morning. Maybe getting about $20 a night, $30, only because you know how this game go. Of course, I'm real strategic, so my food is being paid for that night. I'm getting contacts every time, somebody coming in the booth. I'm paying attention to, that's so-and-so manager, that's so-and-so. I'm real mindful of introducing myself, making sure they know me and, but still making sure I'm doing what I need to do for him. Cause you know what I mean? I'm here for him, but I'm paying attention, building those relationships. And I just got him so organized, got him, his social media together. And he just like, man, I got to bring you to New Music Mondays. Like, and I'm like, all right. So that maybe was like 2 weeks later. Hella intimidating because, back then we was doing it. It was at Blue Rock Studio off by the Ivory by Whitehall Street. So I come in the room. I'm like the only female. Well, Miss A-Town was there. She was doing some stuff for them, but she would be there sometimes and sometimes not. But mostly all dudes, very intimidating because Nick Love was the manager at the time, and he pretty much just kept it real with me, like, what you want to do? What's your purpose? You know what I'm saying? He was just on tough, real tough love, like super tough love. Like,
that's Nick.
But I fuck with that though. Like I like people that don't sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? That made me like really want to just prove myself. But again, like I'm moving so fearless because I'm just doing what God tell me to do. I'm just down there. Like I ain't have one fear bone in my body. Like I hear what he said, but I'm like, I think I'm about to show you. Like, so, building my own relationship with each of these DJs. I'm pulling up, I'm supporting, I'm pulling up on everybody. Still with Funky Strokers, we had Kamal's 21, whatever days is what, just learning the dancers, just building relationships with them, learning the artists. And it just really as soon as I moved down, we was locked in and we've been locked in, I just learned a lot from them guys. Good and bad, you know what I'm saying? Just being real. Learned a lot of good things from them guys though, mostly. But when I say bad, just as an entrepreneur, you got to learn from the people you're around,
Yeah.
So picked up a lot of.
Everybody got different habits. Everybody got their different personal habits.
Picked up.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yep. I picked up some good habits, some bad habits, So I ain't started drinking, so I'm with these niggas every night. So you know what I'm saying? But it was like really, it was really my adulting working with them. Like I really became an adult, like working with the guys. But that's how I started working with them.
So did you get a chance to meet Nando before he passed?
Definitely. I was there with Nando. Nando was always cool. I pull up on him at Onyx. I still got video footage of him. Nando always showed love. I just always thought it was his crowd control. Just that energy was just like, damn. I didn't get a chance to really grow a super strong relationship with him. And I mean, it's like as many people as niggas lost, I'm glad I didn't, but it still meant a lot because I seen how everybody else was hurt. And I remember going to the funeral. I just remember what that meant. And I remember people kept saying, like, it's over for the coalition. Y'all ain't got Nando. And just seeing how everybody came together stronger at that time. But I remember when that happened. I did know Nando for about maybe 2 weeks prior to that happening. And I always admired his crowd control. It was so fun going to see him at Onyx. I love seeing Nando. That shit, terrible, unfortunate, tragic situation. But yep.
That's just crazy. the craziest thing about that is, me and you met Funky the same way. I would say in 06.
Okay.
And it's like we both got into this the same way. Even though I was an artist, I stopped being an artist for a long time just to really get into it. And I started helping AK from PSC. He was like the first art, like he was like I worked with a lot of artists while I was an artist when I was in the Gulf Coast, but when I came back to Georgia, when I came back to the A, it was like I paused being an artist and I started working with AK. And it's like he was the first artist I strategically worked with because he dropped the mixtape and he dropped the mixtape one of them and on 107.9 radio station. And Grand Hustle wasn't very happy about that. You know what I'm saying? So he was out there trying to prove himself as a solo artist and push his mixtape. And he used to walk around with his PSC chain and everything. And he was so frustrated. And I talked to him. I said, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, hey, man, hey, everybody knows PSC because they watch BT and everything like that. Let's start hitting these outskirts. Let's just start hitting Columbus. Let's just start hitting Augusta. Let's just start traveling out where people know where you can really get your mark. And so we started doing that. And through that process, I bumped into Dre because Dre was doing something at a club that he invited AK to come out to perform. But AK couldn't come that time because he had something to do with Grand Hustle. So I came over having AK because I was representing him. And I met Dre. And the funny thing, Dre was watching how I was maneuvering everything. So Dre invited me out to the Legion of Doom office off of Old Nat. And that's when I met Ray and G Code and all them and Brad, you know what I'm saying? And I actually was in the... I was like an intern PR, whatever you call it. So I used to sit in the office and sort out the CDs and stuff and put them in the DJ mailbox. So I created the LOD spin tool. I was like you, I was an innovator. So I created the spin tool. So I would listen to the songs and pull out the best songs and create a mixtape DJ disc. Instead of taking multiple CDs, I broke it down to 4 discs. And I would put on the LOD spin tools. And I would take them out to like, you know, when I started going to Strokers in the middle of the day, I go by and give Funky his spin tool CD. He look at it, he was like, interesting. Like, he was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? And it's like him and then DJ Clouder out of Blue Flame. I used to send him his and then Player Puncher over there at Queen City. I used to send him his. And it's like, I used to run around the city like just giving them out to all the DJs instead of toting all them CDs. I just started creating them. And what's called like, man, you really like, and it's crazy because like I met Funky like that, and just like you, like they gave me a hard time, and I used to do the I used to go on the Legion of Doom college tour with like Dre and Cutthroat. That's what I mean, Cutthroat guy. And then of course, like, man, it was crazy. It's like me and Black Bill Gates. I met him through the league. And it's like who else? DJ Holiday. I met him through the Legion. So it's like during that time we was all coming up. So when Scream and them was doing the mixtapes and, you know what I'm saying, Dirty Laundry and Six Malone when he was in the A before he moved out, him and Infamous and everybody is like Swamp Izzo, we came in all in the same hood. Like I used to grind it out with them because I was admiring how everybody was moving in their own, you know what I'm saying? And this shot, like it's just like seeing everything. So that's why when I came to Coalition, I'm like, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Coalition is like the Legion of Doom to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm like,
for real.
Yeah, Dre, Funky. It was a lot of them that came from and of course the founder of the Legion is actually a part of the coalition as well. So I'm like so that's just how that evolved in just my work ethic. So just me saying that, I want to applaud you as being a female, like maneuvering and standing your ground, because I know you dealt with a lot of egos. I know you dealt with a lot of, who is she? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's like, even if they didn't say it outwardly, they said it in their whole demeanor, like, who is she? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for you to just rise through all of that and get to this point, and just in that process, you not only work with artists, but you created a platform for artists, and then you caterpillared that all the way up to like where you at now, which comes to this question I wanted to say the best for last. How did the Revolt situation come about, and how are you strategically like capitalizing platform wise from that opportunity?
Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate those words. And just really, which interview? I think they saw. They saw the interview we did with Young Thug's ex Carlay. That one had went viral, and they had pretty much reached out after that. And it was very exciting for me and the team, just because we just been grinding so long. So it was cool to get recognized, and it made sense. Just business wise, it made sense. And Revolt, gotta respect the platform, and it was just cool. I'm like, let's do it. So it was a lot of back and forth, just getting the logistics together, and it's been cool. And just to our benefit, really, just the footwork don't stop, the groundwork don't stop. It's just like when the artist get a publicist or a manager, you just keep going harder, really. So we just use it to our advantage when we, pitch to artists, and just let them know, like, we signed a Revolt, give us an interview, So other than that, man, we just, reach out to them and ask them to support what we doing. Send us some bottles, just post us up. All we need is that support and those bigger looks, and that's really what's it about. But, the grind ain't gonna never stop. So shoot, what we doing, we just gonna do it times 10. Yep.
So, do you feel that there would be a possibility that there would be a visual behind this collaboration, meaning that the actual visual of the progress report would be on Revolt, just like Big Facts, just like Drink Champs, just like the Breakfast Club was, like there would actually be a visual? Because I feel that y'all have set up y'all seem even more like it looks even more detailed. So to me, I feel it should already be on Revolt. Like not just going to the podcast and listen to it, but actually, saving and in my little DVR on my, my direct stream, and saying I'm gonna just hit record. So every time it come on, I have it recorded. So when I want to sit down and watch it, So yeah. So
definitely, I think. Yeah, I mean, we open to it. We had a conversation before. I think, let's make it make sense. I'm open to it. I ain't really tripping off the logistics. I'm down. It's just everything has to make sense. I'm a very strategic businesswoman, so it just got to make sense. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this thing, so it got to make sense for me. And it ain't about the money. Like, it's just like I'm gonna make that God willing, just because like I'm doing what I'm passionate about. It ain't about the money, but the platform, hell yeah, I would love that. But again, as long as the numbers make sense and just business-wise it makes sense in terms of the breakdown, I think we would add a lot of value. I think we're doing stuff that people ain't doing, and I think people would appreciate, just seeing our content. And I'm absolutely open to it.
I do feel that that particular growth and collaboration will bring forth that Queen Latifah interview, will bring forth
for
that
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I agree.
Like with me seeing that, like that's what I'm looking at when I ask you that. I'm like, okay, y'all interview these high caliber art individual in the city. But then there's a lot of people and elsewhere that listen to y'all.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, how do y'all tap into the high caliber in those areas? And I'm like, hey, you put this on TV, y'all, hey, I'ma call you. Just like, what you calling for? I was just calling to see if the phone ring, like if the number ain't changed or something, you know?
Right.
I was just calling to see your number work, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But yeah, like I definitely see that, because just how y'all platform is constantly growing and shot out to everybody else that's over there, because y'all work like a 3-headed monster and y'all just be straight doing y'all thing, and I want to
appreciate that, man.
But I actually see I see it like just from the scenery growth to the interview growth to even the just the approach y'all have, like the growth, like even with you doing the all women freestyle, that was dope too. That was very dope. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, they're really uplifting women, and it's like you don't get a lot of platforms that uplift everyday women. Of course, you have platforms that uplift the upscale women, or you know what I'm saying, but the everyday women. And I want to give you your flowers, because y'all come in and y'all uplift and y'all televise and y'all broadcast and y'all help brand everyday women from all walks. If it's rap, media, whatever, singing, whatever they do, y'all create this where y'all not only show everyday women, but y'all help, you know what I'm saying, elevate everyday women. And I want to I definitely want to give you your flowers on that too.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. I mean, that's what it's about. I'm just doing what needs to be done, really. Yep.
So now we done reached the mark of 2023 and going forward, like what else is coming from LaLaa? Will she be featured in some short films, some movies, commercials? Will you pop up in some reality TV as a co-host, whatever, in interviewing somebody? Like what with somebody like you that's not scared to grow and not scared to take chances, what is the next steps for LaLaa Shepard?
To be honest, you know, I'm just big on just doing what I love to do, doing what feels right. Whenever it feels right, I'm gonna do it. The opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna do it and take advantage of it. Of course, you know, I'm very proactive in, you know, making my own opportunities, things that make sense and call my heart. But really just more great content. Like, you know, I'm gonna always put out great content as long as we keep building those relationships. I got a lot of great interviews that I'm excited about releasing soon, and more great stories to tell and share. And just anything's possible, you know. So I don't know what's next, but we got a lot of great things in store. We just did our first Blast the Trash live show, and Blast the Trash is a segment that we curated with DJ XL under the Progress Report. So we just doing everything, really. I mean, like, I don't never know what's next, really. I just pray that I continue to do stuff that's I'm passionate about. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy. Yep.
So how can everybody get in contact with Miss LaLaa, either to host, either for a consultation, either for an interview, even for a pop-up, even for being a moderator? How can they get in contact with LaLaa to help bring more awareness to what they're trying to put out? You know, how can they get in contact?
For sure. I respond back to everything. Social media is all the same. It's LaLaa Shep. It's LaLaashep. Facebook, LaLaa Shepard or LaLaa Shep, one of the two. My email is lalaashep@gmail.com, you know, tprmediagroup.com. I see everything. So if you reach out, I will respond back. Gotta make sense, but I'm gonna respond back.
And y'all make sure y'all slide in her DM the right way. You know? Don't be sliding all crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Slide it there the right way, and then we gonna make it make sense.
For sure. Right way. So will the progress report ever throw an anniversary event?
Possibly. I mean, it's definitely possible. You know, shoot. We've been putting in the work, so ain't no telling what's next. You know, like I said, I'm coming up on my 10-year mark, so I might do something for that. I mean, it's just, I would say it if I knew it. Right now, we don't necessarily have any plans per se, but ain't no telling. I'm sure we will, you know, whatever we can put together for the community and the people, we will do it.
I would say that how y'all grown, just off the record, like how y'all grown, that it's needed. Like just not doing one at this particular level that y'all at before y'all go here, not doing one would just be highway robbery. Like it's needed. And it's not only needed for the people, it's needed for y'all because one of my great friends that I've learned so much from over the years is like, he told me something and it helps me and it sticks with me now. He was like, anytime you get frustrated and you feel like the odds is against you and nobody, like you just feel like people moving against you or they're making it harder or the doors just won't open right and you know they can open, but some people standing behind the door want to be buttholes about it. You know, he was like, anytime you get frustrated or feel that you're not appreciated or whatever like that, he was like, just pause sometime and just stop.
Absolutely.
And just look at how far you've come.
Absolutely.
So with me saying this about this anniversary, it's not just for the community. This is something that you can actually sit back with a thug tier 2 and just look at and just see how everything come together and just show you just how much you've actually grown. Just how much this platform has actually grown. So this anniversary is more for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's for the people, but it's also for you because you put in the work and every now and then it's nothing wrong with receiving your bouquet, especially you don't work for it.
For sure. That's right. I'm with you. Yep.
And everybody on that inspiring note, because I know she got something to do. We got something to do because we some working people. So y'all make sure y'all tap into and y'all follow Miss LaLaa Shepard and get with her. Like I'm literally telling you, get with her because she does a lot. Her voice carries and she's very creative and she's strategic. And you can't find too many women like that. And then she hold her own successfully. And on that note, y'all already know it's your boy, Mr. CSA2 Gazy. And until next time, stay blessed, stay purposed, and stay working.
Absolutely.